Hey guys, while we wait for this grain filler to set up on day 2, I was reviewing the footage I'd recorded and found a little bit more. I thought I'd throw a little bonus feature out there for you all. Well, I had a rude awakening just now. It's been 5 or 6 years since I ordered any fine refinishing products, so I thought I'd hop online and take a look, because I think I only have 1 can of clear gloss lacquer left. Well, the place I usually order from was Pond Cove Paint, and their website is currently under maintenance, so I checked out Rockler. Wow, has this stuff gotten expensive. This is the stuff I would typically buy, whether it be sanding sealer or top clear coat, starting at $31 a can. So to give you some idea, on a cabinet this size, typically you'd need 1 can of sanding sealer. We're going to need 2 different colors of toner lacquer for the trim and for the main body, and then probably 2 cans of clear. So what's that, 5 times, well, let's round it down to 30. It's 150 bucks. Plus taxes, plus shipping. And if you had to order all the supplies, the grain filler, the sanding sealer, the sandpaper, the sanding block, you're looking at well over $200 in supplies. I had no idea things had gotten quite so bad. Hey, the toner is only $21 a can. Well, I hopped onto Amazon thinking, well, maybe other places you got better deals. Not really. The cheapest I've found clear gloss lacquer is 18 bucks. Plus there'll be some taxes and maybe shipping, or maybe I get it free because I'm a Prime member. But wow. It used to be if I ordered from Pond Cove Paint when they had periodic sales, and I ordered a bunch, I'd get free shipping and maybe $6, $7 a can. So it has about tripled in price since I last ordered any supplies. I hope this is a temporary situation, otherwise, yikes. Now, eventually, if I was to do more refinishing, I would get a spray gun. I wouldn't buy aerosol cans. I'd buy it in bulk. I'd buy a gallon can of gloss lacquer. Why haven't I? Because I only refinish a cabinet maybe 1 every 3 or 4 years. So it's a little hard to justify the investment. I need to get a compressor and a spraying rig and whatnot and learn how to use it. Eventually I probably will. But to give you some idea, you can get a quart of this stuff for $38. So not a whole lot more than 1 can. You can get a whole quart of it. A quart would do quite a bit. That 1 quart may be enough to do enough for a console radio. But yeah, wow, that that's surprising and a little disappointing. I threw together a little sketch here to try to work through why sometimes the grain filler has a tendency to too much of it comes out when I wipe off the excess. And here's what I'm thinking. So let's just look at the top here. This is supposed to be a cross-section of the wood, and this rectangular area is an open pore that we want to fill in. Now let's imagine that pore has straight sides, and this is the grain filler we've added. When we go to wipe off the excess, the straight side is going to tend to keep it in there. Now when we put sealer over it, the sanding sealer, or say a wash coat of shellac, those edges are going to be softened. This line here is representing a coating of the sanding sealer. So now instead of having a sharp rectangular depression, we have a shallow bowl. So we put our grain filler in there and we go to swipe it. Instead of having a sharp edge to catch it, I think is more inclined to come out. Just thinking out loud, just a thought that I had. I don't think we can do anything about it, not if we're going to use the type of grain filler that has color in it that we don't want to seep into the surrounding wood. Maybe I'm overblowing this problem. I don't know. I think it would warrant some experimentation at some point. But if any of you have some thoughts or experience with this, I'd be interested in hearing your feedback. Not so fast. We have a problem. As noticed, there's a bit of a high spot here. It's actually a bubble in the veneer where it's not firmly adhered. So what are we going to do? Well, I'm going to cut a slit in here and get some glue down in there. If I can, I'll go in from the edge, but so I think what happened is I went around and glued the edge and didn't realize that there was a void going in here. I'm going to get a thinner blade. The idea is to go in at an angle, get glue in there, and then when you smush it back down, clamp it. The slit won't be noticeable. Let's see what we can do here. Single edge razor blade. You can actually get a syringe for this too. Give that a try. It can be tricky because the glue will clog up the syringe. It's definitely loose. Kind of did me a favor. There's a little piece split out because I can work the glue in on either side of that and then fold it back down like a little flap. Alright, so we are going to get some wood glue and dilute it and work it in as best we can and clamp the heck out of it. Might even want to put a second slit. This is pretty wide. Get it over here too. Alright. This is often the way it goes with these projects. As you dig deeper and deeper into it, you notice little defects and you just deal with it as they come up as best you can. And I'm going to lift this up a little bit. Let's see how this works. Just kind of prying things up a little bit. Notice I put the water on before the glue, because if I put the glue on first, it's thick and it would prevent the dilution from happening. Or yeah, I could have mixed some glue and water up in a separate area and transferred it over, but I'll just kind of do it all in place. I'm glad I'm glad all these little issues have been cropping up because it gives me a chance to show you guys how you can deal with them. It doesn't really matter if I mangle or torture this a bit because it's all going to get mashed down and glued down and you won't notice it at all. Glue in there. Here's where that raised area was. There's a little bit of a scar where I made the slit with the glue in, but nobody's going to see that when this is done. So I let that sit overnight. Just with this high humidity, I want to give stuff time to set up. Unfortunately today, the humidity is still 80+%. So we will proceed. Everything will just take twice as long.